Melochim Halacha Yud Avod Vom Potu B'Machne. There are 4 items that the Chachamim absolve people of having to be careful about them. Let's go down to the Peirush. The first one is Oichlim Hadmai. The Chachamim enacted that if somebody buys wheat or fruit from somebody who's uneducated, we don't know if he did proper tithing. There you have to take off tithes again. So the question is that, but those who go out to the Machne to wage war can eat without worrying about that. That's the first thing. And they don't have to wash their hands before they eat bread. It's because somebody who eats bread has to wash his hands first. And at the end, and here you stop them from, they're not obligated. The third thing, which is Rabbanan as well, they can collect any wood they find, even if it's dried out, that was said that it seems to belong to somebody. You don't have to worry about that, because you can gather it. Also, they don't have to have an Eruv Chatzeres. You can carry from tent to tent and from sukkah to sukkah. That's only if the entire encampment is surrounded by a wall of 10 tvachim, so that the area should be considered a private domain. Commotion is available Shabbos. As we find the halacha of a private domain over Shabbos, and an encampment must mean at least 10 people. The Migdal always has the text, there's no wall that's less than 10. Just like when they go to war, they're not obligated, so too this stays in effect until they return. Hilchos Erevin, the Rambam writes, a chotzer that has many neighbors. Everyone lives in his home and he has his own courtyard, and the chotzer belongs to all of them. They can carry an entire chotzer minat Torah, and they can bring vessels out of the house to the chotzer to the house, because it's all one private domain. The Chacham enacted you can't carry from a house to the courtyard unless they carry to Reshus HaRabim, and this is a takon of Shlomo, HaMelech, and Bezdinah. Here he adds that the army doesn't have to make this Erev, as long as there's a wall around them 10 tvachim high, so it should be a private domain, as we find in Shabbos, 14th Perek, first Halacha, a place that's surrounded 4 mechitzas from all 4 sides, 10 tvachim high, and it is an area of 4 by 4 or more, to be considered a Rosh Hashanah has to have an area of 4 by 4 tvachim, and the Rabbanan, they don't have to be careful of Eruvei Chatzeros. Because the Mishnah cites the Mishnah in Erevin 17a, 4 things the Chacham did not require from the army, and they can bring wood from all over. They don't have to wash their hands before they wash for Moetzes. They don't have to take off tithes, and they don't have to make an Eruvei Chatzeros. The Gemara questions that a wood is from the days of Yeshua, and not only for the army, was it done for the Chacham did it for the army. And the Gemara answered that Yeshua made a condition that he could collect all types of loose thorns, not wood that's prepared. Here we're talking about where it's wood that's good wood. Furthermore, Yeshua was, when they were attached to the ground, and Machon they permitted it even that was already cut. And Yeshua's takana was they're wet, they're not dried. And here, because wet wood does not burn as well, and here they permitted it even dry wood. But the comments brought down, Mal is brought down by other woods and by those that are cut down even if they're dry. And therefore the Rambam uses the lotion, you can take wood without any boundaries to it, without any designation. Regarding damaging of money, it's brought down that there are 10 conditions that Yeshua and his Bezdin made with the people of Israel when they divided Yisrael. The second one is that person could collect wood from his friend's field, but it should be not valuable wood, and it could be nearly like thorns. And it should be wet and attached to the ground. But other woods are forbidden. Kesef Mishnah cites that you don't have to wash your hands, as found in Eruvin 17b, only before the meal, but not after the meal, because after the meal was the danger that they might have the soul that comes from the area of Sodom, which damages the eyes, and that's why it was enacted in the first place. And when it comes to the dangers, we don't eliminate them from the army. In fact, we want to make sure they don't come into dangers. And they do not have to make an Erev Chatzeros. The Kesef Mishnah cites a Mishnah in Eruvin 17a. In the Gemara 17b explains the base measure of Aviani explains that we're talking about Erev Chatzeros, but not Erev Tchumim, which is deraisa. Chum cannot nullify the obligation of Erev Tchumim. The Erev Chatzeros, which is the Rabbanon, the Apoto. The Marach Abulafia questions, according to the Rambam, even Erev Tchumim is Rabbanon. So why is it required? And the answer is, it could be, according to the Rambam and the Riv, forbiddenness to go 2,000 amos Rabbanon, but 12 middle is forbidden in Torah because that was the encampment in the desert. A person cannot go out 2,000 miles, 2,000 amos, because since the basis of the forbiddenness is based on the deraisa of 12 mil, the Chacham did not nullify the 2 mil. Kesef Mishnah points out, just like they're forbidden when they're permitted to relax these obligations when they go out to war, so when they return. This is not mentioned by the Gemara, but we find in the Mishnah that anybody goes outside of the area for war to save can go back to their place. And the Gemara explains that they can go back to the original place. And from here, the Rambam learned that the Anshe Machna are brought from the other things as well. The Raz gives a reason that they can return, otherwise they won't go to begin with. And he learned this from the Rambam, who says so in Hilchos Shabbos. Very base, Halacha 23. The Mishnah, Mishnah rejects the proof of the Kesef Mishnah, because from the Gemara we learn that they can go back to their place, because there the takona is because an incident that took place. The reason the Rambam is in the whole Shabbos, he writes in chapter 2, Halacha 23, that they can go back to their place so that in the future they will not have not want to go. And here it's because if we will not permit them to go, to return, they won't go in the first place. The Ramach is in his questions on the Rambam, questions from Eruvin, and also he writes those who dwell in tents or sukkahs or an encampment that they surrounded with a wall. You do not carry from one tent to the other until they make an Erev. So how here does he say that they can do so without an Erev? And he remains with a question on the Rambam's own codification. The Maggid Mishnah answers that here it's talking about a Machon which is going to war. They rested many days, even on Shabbos, therefore they're more lenient. The Erevin, the Bryce is talking about even an encampment that goes for a war of choice, and what he mentions in Hilchos Erevin is the sources in Yerushalmi. He's not talking when they went out to war, but they're going as a caravan, and they decided to stop in a certain place. That's also called an encampment, and then you need to have an area of Chatzeres. And so the Maggid Mishnah cites that a Machna is called everything that has 10 people gathered together, even though they're not warriors that go out to war. As it says in the Yomim 1, chapter 12, verse 22, till the large encampment, the encampment of God. In Yerushalmi it says, how much is a Machna Melochim? 10. Less than that is called a caravan. The Mingel Ois has a text. There is no mechitza less than 10, and not that there's no encampment less than 10. That's a bit bewildering, because the Rambam said already that you have to enclose the entire encampment with a wall that's 10 tefachim high. Why would it need to say it again? That and the fact, and it would mean that Rambam left out that a machne means 10 people. Chazon Ish does keep the text with no machne less than 10. He said to Yerushalmi, the Maggid Mishnah said that a machne is anyone that has 10 people.